Rewire your brain for a new destiny. Are you tired of waking up feeling entirely trapped in the exact same routines day after day? Many of us feel stuck in a continuous loop, desperately wishing for meaningful change, but continuously falling back into old, familiar patterns. Dr. Joe Dispenza's groundbreaking book reveals exactly why you feel this way and provides a scientific roadmap to finally break free. By combining the fascinating fields of quantum physics, neuroscience, and psychology, this guide proves that you are not doomed by your genetics or hardwired to be a certain way for the rest of your life. You possess the incredible biological power to literally rewire your brain and body. Prepare to discover the ultimate toolkit for personal transformation and step into a completely new reality. Point 1. Your thoughts are shaping your reality. Every single day, you are actively writing the script of your life through the thoughts you choose to entertain. To understand how to break the habit of being yourself, we must first look at the incredible power of your daily thoughts and how they literally mold the reality you experience. Most people wake up in the morning and immediately begin thinking about their problems. Those problems are connected to specific people, specific locations, and specific times in their past. Because the brain is a highly complex record of everything you have experienced, the moment you start thinking about your past, you begin to feel the exact same emotions associated with those memories. This creates a fascinating but dangerous loop. Your thoughts lead to your choices lead to your behaviors create your experiences, and those experiences produce emotions. Finally, those emotions drive your new thoughts. When you wake up and think about how stressful your job is, you feel anxious. Because you feel anxious, you might choose to skip breakfast or snap at your family. That behavior leads to a rushed, unpleasant morning experience, which makes you feel even more frustrated, thereby fueling more negative thoughts. You are essentially looping the same data through your nervous system over and over again. When you think, act, and feel the exact same way for years, your brain and body become perfectly synchronized to a specific state of being. You have successfully memorized the habit of being yourself. In the realm of neuroscience, there is a very famous principle known as Hebb's law. It states that neurons that fire together wire together. Every time you have a thought, a biochemical reaction occurs in your brain, causing the release of chemical signals. When you repeatedly think the same thoughts, perform the same actions, and feel the same emotions, you are firing the same exact neural circuits. Over time, these circuits become deeply hardwired into thick, highly efficient neural networks. Your brain essentially becomes a computer program that automatically runs your life. By the time you reach the age of 35, approximately 95% of who you are is a set of memorized behaviors, emotional reactions, unconscious habits, and hardwired attitudes that function exactly like a subconscious computer program. If you truly want to change your life, you cannot solve your problems using the same mind that created them. You must force your brain to fire in new sequences and new patterns. This concept is scientifically known as neuroplasticity. Your brain is not a static, unchangeable organ. It is highly malleable and capable of creating new connections at any age. When you learn new information, you are adding new neurological connections to your brain. When you begin to implement that new knowledge and change your behavior, you are creating new experiences that further wire these networks. Think about the sheer amount of energy it takes to learn something completely new, like driving a manual transmission car. At first, it feels incredibly awkward. You have to consciously think about pressing the clutch, shifting the gear, and watching the road all at the same time. Your brain is firing in unfamiliar ways, requiring immense focus and energy. However, after a few months of daily practice, you can drive that same car while drinking coffee, listening to the radio, and having a deep conversation. The action has become automatic. You have neurologically wired the skill into your brain. The exact same principle applies to your personality. If you want to become a more patient, joyful, or successful person, you must consciously fire the neural circuits of patience, joy, and success until they become your new automatic program. The ultimate goal of breaking the habit of being yourself is to unmemorize your old biological patterns and consciously create new ones. You must become completely aware of your unconscious thoughts. Many of us operate on autopilot, completely oblivious to the negative, self-defeating dialogue running in the background of our minds. The first crucial step to transformation is simply waking up. You must become the observer of your own thoughts. When you can watch your thoughts without automatically accepting them as truth, you step out from the program and take back control of your biology. Key concepts to keep in mind. Your daily thoughts create a biological loop that dictates your future. Neurons that fire together, wire together. Your personality is simply a hardwired neural network. Neuroplasticity guarantees that you can change your brain at any age by consciously choosing new thoughts and behaviors. To change your life, you must become deeply aware of the unconscious thoughts that normally run on autopilot. Point 2. How to influence the quantum field. To truly transform your life, we must step outside the comfortable boundaries of classical science and dive into the fascinating, mind-bending realm of the quantum field. For hundreds of years, human beings operated under the Newtonian model of physics. This classical model suggested that the universe is basically a giant, predictable machine made of solid matter. Under the Newtonian perspective, reality is straightforward. If you exert a physical force on an object, you get a physical result. Because of this deeply ingrained worldview, we have been conditioned to believe that we must physically force our way through life to make things happen. We believe we are simply localized physical bodies living in a physical universe, completely separate from the things we want. However, the advent of quantum physics completely shattered this traditional view of reality. When scientists began pulling apart atoms to see what matter was actually made of, they discovered something absolutely staggering. Atoms are not solid building blocks at all. In fact, an atom is approximately 99.99999% completely empty space. But this space is not actually empty. It is a vast, invisible field of pure, vibrating energy and information. This means that you, your house, your car, and the device you are reading this on are fundamentally made of energy, not solid matter. You are a conscious being emitting energy into an infinite field of energetic possibilities. In the quantum model of reality, the mind and the physical world are not entirely separate entities. They are deeply intertwined. One of the most famous discoveries in quantum mechanics is the observer effect. When quantum physicists observed electrons, they found that the tiny particles existed in an invisible field of endless probability. The electron could potentially be anywhere at any given moment, but the exact moment a scientist observed or measured the electron, the invisible field of probability collapsed into a single physical reality. The act of observation literally created the particle's physical manifestation. What does this mean for your everyday life? It implies that the subjective mind has a direct, measurable effect on the objective physical world. Every possible experience you could ever desire, whether it is abundant wealth, perfect health, a fulfilling relationship, or a completely new career, already exists right now as an invisible, energetic possibility in the quantum field. It is waiting for you to observe it into physical reality. But how exactly do you communicate with this invisible